trading block. So much news to talk about on this bi-week edition of the Purple Rain podcast. Yes. Welcome back to episode 343 of the Purple Rain podcast. The Justice Hill episode, obviously. Raheem Mostert, Fitzgerald Toussaint, Haruki Nakamura episode of the Purple Rain podcast. So much to talk about, so much speculation, and so much negativity right now in the Ravens fan base and Ravens Nation. But we're here to talk about it, here to vent. But first, you can follow us on Instagram at the Purple Rain podcast. This guy right here. Instagram or on X, Sutton Def. Me, Instagram, simply as10.prod, X, simply as10. Yes. So it is now Thursday, October 16th, and the Ravens are on their bye week. But tonight, there's some AFC North football, so a good hate watch could be occurring tonight. But still some Ravens news to talk about. Even when we're not playing, we're still in the headlines for the bad reasons, obviously. Bring up everybody here in the chat. So I have to ask you, Sutton, how was your week? How are we doing? And how's the week without Ravens football feeling?
It's feeling relieving, to be honest with you. We were just talking before we went live here, and it's kind of like, you get to step back, take a deep breath. Okay, we're 1-5. Cool. We kind of knew we were going to be 1-5 for the past 2 weeks, to be honest with you, without Lamar. We're getting Lamar back, supposedly getting guys like Patrick Ricard, Roquan Smith. I'm sure his health is on the bin. I think things are, potentially have the chance looking up, right? I mean, I'm trying to speak and breathe some optimism into the fan base, because all I've been seeing and all I've been thinking for the most part is like pessimistic thoughts, like the season's over, right? We're not going to the playoffs. Super Bowl aspirations this year are trashed, all those things. But I think that the Ravens can put together a good stretch. I think that they can win enough to win the division, and then also make the playoffs. Probably not. But I think it's going to be a journey. It's going to be right. I think you're going to get some good Ravens football along the way. And that's really all we can ask for, to be honest with you, at this point. But I'm feeling good, though. I'm feeling good, in short. Let me see. Your point says right here, like button. Of course, man, hit that like. As always, JD13 is in the chat. What's going on, JD? Appreciate you for coming through. Let me see. Avery says, we're just sleepwalking through the regular season. Like, we're just on pure energy conservation mode right now. Kind of like what the Chiefs were doing last year, except we're losing our games. Same thing. A little different, but same thing. You guys get what I'm saying. D-Wiz is in the chat. What's going on, D-Wiz? One of our members here at the Pro Rain Podcast YouTube channel. Appreciate you for coming through. Appreciate all of our members here on the Always Blessed says, what's up, fellas? What's going on? Always Blessed. Hope you're always blessed. Hope you're blessed right now, man. Appreciate you for coming through. Always supporting. Let me see. What else do we got? Tanja Bowman's in the chat. What's going on, Tanja Bowman? Appreciate you for coming through. Zico Kage, Ma Rouge, King Blaze. Welcome, guys. Okay. So, thing that we want to get into, just a couple of quick hitters, a couple of appetizers, right? No Ravens football this week. There's a couple of different topics that have kind of been floating around the NFL world, and wanted to bring it to you guys and kind of get your opinions on it, right? There's been some think pieces, right, about one of the most popular player grading models, right, in the football world. You guys already know Pro Football Focus, right? We used to call them Phony Football Focus here on this podcast. And they've been under a lot of fire recently by a bunch of different people, honestly, some ex-players. Here's actually what J.J. Watt had to say about that.
I'm getting hot.
Oh, I like
Keep
that.
going. Keep going,
Hey,
Love it.
that's how you summon some change.
Exactly.
You got to get passionate.
Personal stories of Uber drivers telling NFL passengers that they break down film for PFF and that they watch the TV copy only and put a grade out after the game.
That Uber driver's true.
You can't watch film on the TV copy and create a grade. You can't break down a person's grade and know what they're supposed to do if you don't know their exact assignment. Like D-Butt just said, I know defensive line play unbelievably well. I could not go and grade a game for a player and give him a definitive grade without speaking to him, his coach, the scheme, everything. It's just a fact. PFF has a ton of great stuff. Player grading sucks. Stop putting it out.
Hell yeah!
Whew. That was to the point. PFF player rating sucks. How do you feel about it?
To be honest with you, man, I kind of disagree. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that, and there's been a lot of this, I think, recently with former players and stuff like that, kind of scrutinizing people who judge football players and assess football players based off of what they're seeing with their own two eyes. Torrey Smith actually did it a little bit earlier in the week, right? So there's just a couple of things that I have an issue with what JJ Watt is saying here. Number one, these guys utilize so much context, and I think that that's so important when you have to grade every single player on every play. I feel like you would want to take into consideration the context of the game and things that are going on. Oh, is this guy getting double teamed off the edge? Things like that. Well, that's going to factor into his grade this way. Honestly, from what I've seen, when I watch film and then I go and look at PFF grades afterwards, it's really too far off, to be honest with you, in terms of like my assessment and what their assessment is. So I don't know. I think it's good for the league. But we do actually have a special guest down here that I want to bring up in just a second. He's getting ready right now. We want to bring him up. I want to get his take on this. But PFF, man, again, I agree. I see what JJ Watt is saying, but again, at the same time, man, let these guys have their player model. And Chris Collinsworth, I like the face of this whole thing, and he's got it plastered all over Sunday Night Football on NBC and things like that. And he's pumped a lot of money into it, and he stands side by side with it. And honestly, I think it's a good tool. I think it's a good tool. That's just me, though.
Yeah, I think it depends positions, because I saw our old friend Owe was like the worst graded player on the Chargers defense, and then I see where the Ravens linemen are graded, like Falele and Voorhees. I'm like, I'm sorry, there's no way they can be in the top percentile when I watched the film this week of the Rams and made a 2-minute and 30-second low light of Daniel Falele. This man was on his ass about every 4 or 5 plays. I don't get it. I don't get it. And Sam brings it here. They had PQ at like a 20 and like 22 or 23. How does somebody get a 20? So as for quarterbacks, receivers, running backs, I'm cool with that. But I do agree with him in the sense where like you cannot judge these players a day after. We don't know what their schemes were. We don't know who they were covering in a certain zone. I saw the Malachi Starks discourse. There was a one play, the rollout on the right hand side. Teddy Buchanan absolutely missed his assignment, and they credit that to Starks. It's just back and forth, and that's kind of my problem with analytics. But I don't want to ramble too much. We got to get our guest on here real quick, so I'll let you introduce him, son.
So we do have a very special guest here, a first-time guest here on the Purple Rain podcast. This is our guy Josh Berman from the Network. I really love the content he put. By the way, let me go ahead and bring him up here. I really love the content he puts out. Tons of charisma, tons of energy in his content. He's doing a great job over there at the Next Network. Appreciate you for coming through, Josh Berman. How you doing, man?
Yo. I had an alarm set for 6:30. Well, my phone died.
Oh.
So I'm sitting on my laptop, and I'm like, wait a second, what time is it? Like, oh! So, I'm so sorry. But I'm here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yo, I didn't realize that I didn't know you were on here.
Yeah, that's me.
Yo, any Sunday, you want to get yourself hyped up. This is the guy now. You've been the guy for years, too.
I try. Thank you.
At least you've been my go-to for years. I'll tell you that much. So, keep killing it, bro, for real.
I appreciate the highlight
man.
goat here.
Oh, man. Sorry. Let's get into what you're talking about. PFF. You're at the games every Sunday. We see it on TikTok. We see it on Instagram. You interviewed people. Tailgates. How do you feel about it? Because you watch it. You have the all 22 view from where you're sitting.
I will die on this hill. That because I sit on the upper deck. I sit in 510, and I will die on the hill. That is the best place to watch a football game. And because I'm now going to these games, the away games, with Tick Pick and all that, and as cool as it is, and I am now getting, and usually the tickets I buy are like the Ravens bench, which is great for different reasons because you get different views. But in terms of seeing every single bit of every single play, that's up top. That's the place to go. But in
Oh,
Oh,
did we lose sound? I think we lost sound,
sound.
on Josh. Yeah, we can't hear you, brother.
Yep, I know.
Yep,
Hold on.
There we go.
It's good. I know it's
There
gonna be good
we
now,
go.
but wait, it's my mic cord. I'm unplugging
okay,
it.
gotcha.
This happens every once in a
All
while.
good.
Hold on.
All good.
Now I know
all
you can hear me normally now, but let's see if I can fix the mic. If not, it's whatever. But yeah,
good.
okay.
You sound fine,
Whatever.
yeah.
Let's just ride with this.
Yeah.
All
What
right.
was your question? Just
PFF.
okay.
Yeah.
I have a love-hate relationship with their grades, but I'm a big analytics guy, I'll tell you that. And I like their stats. I think there's a lot of stats that they use that is very interesting and do tell you a lot. Like, for example, the tackle stat in the NFL is a joke. Because if you are around the ball carrier, you get credited with a tackle. PFF has this stat called stops. And that tends to be a lot more accurate. Like, so stuff like that I think is more interesting. The yards per route run stat is like, so there is a lot that PFF does that I really like. Their grades are kind of hit and miss because they're not AI. They're not like computer. It's a person who does it. And that means it's inherently going to be very subjective. And that means that you're going to see a game differently than someone else. And I don't know this for a fact, but I'm pretty sure it's not like the same person's assigned to the same team. I don't know if that's the case or not, but maybe one week one guy's doing grading and another guy's doing another grading another week, and they could see the game differently. So like the grades are subjective because of the way it's set up. It has to be subjective. So sometimes you'll agree that sometimes you won't. But there's a lot of value in what they do, I think.
Thank you. That's what I was saying. There is a lot of value. Very
There
important
is.
to have somebody who is breaking down every single player, every single play. You know, like that's huge. That's a lot of data. Like information is power. It's king.
Yeah.
Having that is great. Nobody said that you had to take it for like law. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
subjective, like we said.
Yeah.
So it's just like I just think it's a great tool. I know that I think Chris Collinsworth, he was here today when Kay Adams was interviewing him. He was saying that, you know, he had coaches like basically like call him and say, hey, look, like we don't like that you're giving, you know, grades. You don't know what's going on here behind closed doors and, you know, in the trenches, all that. So he invited him to the PFF headquarters. And after he said that everybody who came through and doubted it at first, they saw what they had going on there and they left with like a much greater respect. So,
Yeah.
you know, like we saw the clip that I just rolled, JJ Watt, he was pretty much like irate about it. And I think rightfully so, because his brother TJ Watt got like a less than favorable grade, I think, last week for some reason. But it's neither here nor there. I think the players are always going to feel a way about it because like, who are you to like grade me on what I'm doing on the football field when you A, don't know the scheme, and B, you might not have ever played football in your life. So like, who are you to like basically criticize? But again, I think for fans, people who study the game, and then obviously for coaches, according to Chris Collinsworth, is good for everybody. I think it's good for the league.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead.
Is the audio better? I'll just put my mics back.
We're good.
All right,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. So that was one quick hit. Next quick hit before we get into some actual Ravens talk, you know, the meat and potatoes of the episode, right? I want to ask you guys about international games really quick. You know, this is something the NFL has been trying to implement for years now. Some people love it, some people hate it. You got to get up early in the morning, especially if you're out on the West Coast, right? Here in Central Time, so the game starts around like 8:30, which I think is pretty cool, to be honest with you. And I get why the NFL is doing it, but at the same time, there are like some dangers, you know, for certain places, and there's also some concerns in terms of like travel logistics and what that does to players. So, Josh, I'm gonna toss this one to you first, and then Alex, you follow him up. What are your feel about international games in the NFL? Do you like it, love it, or hate it?
Yo, I actually, I got a lot. I have a very strong opinion on this, actually. So I'm kind of glad. Hey, we got a Raven in here. What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on?
But, okay. If you want to look at it from the U.S. fan standpoint and how it affects us specifically, you can complain. You're allowed to complain. It is, in every way, shape, or form, it is making the game not inherently built for just us and only us. So I get that. But if you look at the NBA right now, look at the best players in the NBA. If you made a top 20 list, probably more than half of them are not from the US. You know how that happens? They grow the game internationally. Roger Goodell is someone that I think there's a lot of things that I think we can complain about with Roger Goodell. But if there's one thing from literally the first year that he took over, because the second year he took over was the first international game, is he has done so much for growing the game. And what I think is going to happen is 20, 30 years from now, you're going to make a list of the best players in the NFL, and it's going to be just like the NBA. They're going to be from all over because they are going to be people who grew up watching the NFL and saying, hey, I want to play this. I want to play this. And you know what that does for us, the fans? That gives us a better product because it makes the talent pool so much bigger. So it's a similar thing with like Bad Bunny for the halftime show. This dude is if you did a poll, a hypothetical poll with every single person on the planet, all 8 billion people, and you said, have you heard of blank? And it was just a list of a bunch of current artists. I am telling you that Taylor Swift is the only artist on the planet that would get more yeses than Bad Bunny if you're talking about the entire world. Not the US, but everywhere. He is huge. They know that. They're growing the game internationally. So, yeah, did we have to wake up a little earlier? Does it or whatever, fine. But there's so much positive from it. I'm glad you brought this up because this is one of those things. I have a list almost in my head of like videos that I haven't made, but I have very strong opinions about. And that's kind of one of them. So I'm glad I got the chance to rant for a second. So there you go.
No, I love that. I love that personally. Alex, before you go, we do have a super chat donation. This one's coming from Raven is dropping the 20 piece in the chat. Says, love y'all. We love you too, man. The king of Ravens content creating space. We appreciate you, Engraven. Let me see. He also says, oh, Bad Bunny is about to be fire. I cannot wait for that. I'm going to watch. You know what I'm saying? Like, at first I was thinking to myself, I was like, I don't know Spanish, so there's no point in me watching. But I think it's just going to be more of a spectacle than anything, even if you don't know Spanish. So I'm definitely going to tune in. But Alex, what are your thoughts on the whole international games thing?
I'm definitely the worst person to ask because my favorite sport is soccer. So I wake up 5 a.m., 5:30. I woke up around 3 or 4 a.m. for the World Cup in 2022 in the winter. I don't care when I'm waking up. I love them. I think it's great to grow the game. And I think what's even better, Sam in here literally lives in England. And he's been to he went to the Ravens-Titans game. And he's saying here the only problem is, though, we send bad teams there. And I can kind of agree.
Not this week.
Suspend this past week.
No, I'm saying this week. You got a hell of a matchup this week with the Rams and the Jags.
Who's
I'm
this
really excited for it.
Rams, Jags. Okay. I can't
so
wait for next later.
Yeah, so they have all these games. You have to, when to go to this one with these good teams. I don't think many people were banking on the Jags to be this good this year. I know I wasn't. But my only gripe is the Brazil game. I think it's very unsafe. Where they have it, you can't wear a certain color. That just didn't sit right with me. Germany, I'm cool with. England, hell. Most of Europe, I'm cool with. I just want the fans to be safe as well. And the players and the families of the players, that's my biggest gripe. But as for growing the game, I love it. You can't go wrong with it. And, if the players have a problem with, the travel, give them that bye week afterwards. I think it's a perfect time for a bye week. Time to rest up, heal, recuperate. I'm all for it.
To that point, by the way, it is not if, it is when the NFL goes to 18 games. It's going to happen. What I am telling you, I am so confident in this, is that we are going to go to every single team getting one international game. That will then follow up with a bye week because you're going to get 18 games. The only way you're going to get the players to agree with it is to do 2 byes. You'll have the Super Bowl on President's Day weekend. You'll get the day off after the Super Bowl. It's going to be a whole thing, but you're going to get 18 games. Every single team plays one international game, and whoever plays internationally, you get the bye week, your first bye week or second bye week or whatever, the week after. It's going to happen. I'm telling you all to be prepared for it. It's coming.
I think that's genius, to be honest with you. I love that idea personally. 18 game season. I don't love the idea of 18 game seasons. Now, you talk about 2 bye weeks, and the Super Bowl is right before a federal holiday. Now we're kind of talking. You know what I'm saying? Like I do like the idea of that, but I think the thing that you said at the very beginning of your sentiment, Josh, the fact that in 20, 30 years, the NFL could look just like the NBA. That was the most fascinating thing that you said, because I never really thought about it like that. Because I think the NFL is definitely in its infant stage of trying to like brand and become international. But yeah, I could totally see in 20, 30 years. I mean, we've got international guys already on the Ravens roster as is. You've got CJ Okoye, who came to America over from Africa, I believe, or just a couple of years ago. You've got the infamous Daniel Falele, who's Australian. Who I'm sure we'll get at, in a little bit here too. But no, man, I really like that point, and I'm excited. It really does excite me for the future of the league. And one thing that we didn't mention, guys, is that the fact that in the next Olympics, they're introducing flag football, right? So, like, I remember Jalen Hurts was like the poster child for that when they first dropped that whole, promo thing. And I think that's going to be really cool. That's also going to be really good for the league. Know exactly who's going to go out there and play and represent the U.S., but it's going to be really cool to see all the other countries around the world try to compete in American football, at least, non-contact. So I can't wait for that. But all good points, fellas. All very good points. Let's go and move on into what we came here to talk about, right? Let's go ahead and get into these Baltimore Ravens. These 1-5 Baltimore Ravens. These abysmal Baltimore Ravens. So let's just start it off like this. The Ravens are in their bye week. A lot of people are on the fence. A lot of Ravens fans are on the fence with the question. They're kind of wrestling with the question with themselves. Can this Ravens team make a run and salvage this season? Or is that impossible? Now, Josh, I'm going to toss this to you. Now, realistically, I want you to realistically, because I know just like us, you're a fan of the Ravens as well. And it's short for fanatic, right? So we all have high hopes, But I want you to realistically tell me whether or not this Ravens team will make a run, make this playoffs, or will not make a run and make the playoffs. Why or why not?
I think can and will are two different things. I think if you are asking yourself if they can do it, you need to remind yourself of the talent on this roster and the fact that they were the odds-on Super Bowl favorites before the year started. So, can they? Absolutely. The problem is that you are now looking at a pretty easy schedule, but the worst you can be through the rest of the year, the worst you can be is 9-2 through the rest of the year. That's worst case scenario if you want to make a playoffs here. The other thing is, while Pittsburgh's schedule is very difficult and ours is very easy and it sets it up, the Steelers have to drop these games because unless if we literally win out and go 12-5, you're not making a wild card. It's not happening. You're not, unless if you're talking about an 11-game winning streak and you're 12-5. To me, a wild card spot is off the table. You have to win the North. So it's not just about us. We can go 9-2. If the Steelers go 8-3, it doesn't matter. They have to fall off too. And that's where it's interesting. The good news is their schedule sets it up pretty well for us to do that. This Chicago game, but it's all everyone's focusing on the Bears game. Really, it's the Bears and Dolphins game because we have a Thursday night game immediately after it. So if we win against the Bears, then turn around and lose to the Dolphins 4 days later, it doesn't mean anything. You got to go 2-0 on those games. And the same thing, if you lose to the Bears, nothing's going to happen until you have a game in 4 days, guys. I'll tell you that right now. You got a game in 4 days, so don't go on Twitter like, why have we fired Harbaugh? Because it's Monday and your next game's on Thursday. It's not happening. But they need to go, but they got the talent. They do have the talent. So it's possible. It is possible. They can do it.
But it's just a matter of will they?
Yeah,
Alex?
that's the question. And I don't know the answer to that, to be honest with you. I haven't decided.
I said that last episode. I think we can, and I'll say we will. When there's hope, there's delusion. And I've seen this team multiple years go on runs against bad teams last year. After the bye week, name me one good team we played. The Texans, their offense was putrid. We just blew them all out. Same thing this year. And I know we had the Steelers with Aaron Rodgers. Their history under Tomlin these past couple years, choking against teams they should be beating. They let us win the North last year.
Yep.
Shouldn't have done it. Drop easy games. So now going back to this, it falls on the line. Offensive and defensive. What are we going to do? I just saw right here, the Bengals benched Cam Taylor-Britt. Their coach has rocks. Where's ours? I want to see a change on one of the lines, specifically offensive. I'm tired of the babying. I'm tired of all of that. There has got to be a better option than 72 or 77. I know you can't do both. I just need one of them. So you look at their line. Look at their schedule. I'll pull it up right here. We can go through it right now. I think we beat the Bears. They were not convincing against Commanders. Commanders dropped the ball that game. Dolphins, Tua doesn't scare me. I think you're 2-0 right there. And if you go 2-0, you have got to trade for somebody at the deadline. You have got to. So I think we can do it. I think we win the North. 11, 10. I think 10-7 can win the division.
It could.
I think we do it.
It really could.
Yeah, and so what I want to do now, I want to bring up something really quick here, team comparison with the Rams game, because we already lost to them. But I wanted to bring up something that was interesting. It's basically like a remaining strength of schedule, like rankings for each team.
Oh,
and
I'm interested.
Yeah,
in this
you actually brought up the the Steelers. That is the catalyst for the Ravens to make the playoffs here. I think the path is definitely the North. But if you look at the Steelers schedule, look at the Steelers schedule, number 27 down there. They've got the Colts, Packers, Bills, Lions, Chargers, and Bears. And those are supposedly their more tougher matchups, right? They've got the Ravens twice. They got the Bengals twice. It's going to be a general hate watch tonight. Hopefully Joe Flacco turns the tables, turns the clocks back, right? But right here, you're looking at a pretty tough stretch. And I think that the Steelers can drop some of these games, you think?
Wait, hold on. How do the Steelers, Packers, Patriots, Vikings, and Bears have a better combined record than the Colts, Packers, Bills, Lions, Chargers, and Bears? What?
I think it's how bad we are.
No. The strength I'm looking at the 451 and the 450. Yeah. There's no way the Steelers are that low. Look at that schedule. It's brutal. Colts, Packers, Bills, Lions, Chargers, and Bears. And this says that they have the 27th hardest schedule?
That is weird.
That's not
numbers aside, that looks weird. But just in terms of like pure opponents that they have left, because I can't really explain that, honestly. It's a gauntlet, bro. It's a gauntlet. And my point is, I can definitely see the Steelers dropping some of these games. But again, it's not going to matter if Ravens literally drop more than 2 games. You're at the point now where I think that if you drop more than 1 game, and you're kind of like jockeying for position for a wild card spot. You look at some of these other teams who are going to be in position for a wild card. Look at the AFC West, man. The AFC West is absolutely loaded. Right now, I believe it is the Chargers who lead that division, I want to say. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Chargers lead that division at 4-2 right now, but the Chiefs are coming. They're getting Rashee Rice back, and that they're probably going to end up winning that division, which leaves the Chargers and Denver to jockey for a position for a wild card spot. There's only 3 of them. So the AFC West is going to be important. And then also you've also got the AFC East. I think the Bills will win that division, but you got the Patriots who are good now, right?
And their schedule's so easy. Look at the while we look at the graphic, look at the Patriots schedule. Look at their remaining opponents. They are going to have a ridiculously good record, and they're going to be the most unimpressive 12-5 team ever. Because look at their schedule. Other than the Bucs and the Bills, they play us, the Bengals, the Dolphins, the Browns, the Titans, and the Jets twice. Look at that.
Yeah, that's insane. That's insane. But they were set up for one of these type of seasons, right? They were kind of due for this. I'm actually happy for Patriots. And they stayed down. You know, the dynasty over a while ago. They had to suffer through the Chiefs dynasty for some years, but it seems like they finally found their guy. And I don't know, football just feels better when the Patriots are good. I don't know. This is just me. It may sound crazy, but it just
I
gives
can't wrap my head
me like
around the
nostalgic
local
vibes.
Patriots team.
Most of their fans flocked down south, just like birds do in the winter when Brady left. They became Bucks fans.
I'm
Selling
also
a
a
Super Bowl
Vrabel guy too.
I like Vrabel too, but I think most of their fans were just Brady fans. So good for the true New England fans. Good for them.
Yeah, it's been kind of nice to empty the bandwagon here too. By the way,
That is true.
Yeah. All right. So next question. So Ravens again in the bye week, right? There's a couple of weeks left until the trade deadline, right? November 4th trade deadline. Do you think that Eric DeCosta is cooking up a move right now? And if you think he is, what do you think might be on his mind? What potential guys do you see out there when you scope out the lay of the land, Josh? Who could the Ravens go after to help turn this season around?
I think it entirely depends on the outcome of your next 2 games. If
So
you
let's
go
say if we
2-0,
say 2-0, yeah, right.
if you go 2-0, let's go. Make me your moves. If you go 1-1 or 0-2, it's the other way around. Your incoming free agents that you don't think you will be bringing back, a guy like Odafe Owe, sell him. The Ravens love their comp picks. Well, then the question is, all right, you can look at a guy like Mark Andrews as a free agent. Can we get more than what his comp pick value is going to be? You can look at a guy who, you got a really weird situation with Tyler Linderbaum, who we declined our 5th-year option with him because the center market was what it was, and it was a whole weird thing. But now he's turning around and having the worst season he's ever had. So if you want to go and get like a high day 2 pick, if you were kind of on the fence with him, I wouldn't recommend it, but you could do that. Travis Jones, you could do that. And then on the other side, pass rush. I say that because I don't know how many offensive linemen are really available right now. What offensive linemen are going to be on I don't know. I think there's a lot more guys that you can look at pass rusher wise. Ooh, Jalen Phillips is actually a really good idea.
Oh yeah,
I like that a lot.
I like that a lot.
I'm going to tell Ravens fans right now, don't even think about Max Crosby because you're going to have to give up multiple first-round picks to get a guy like him. The Ravens are not going to do that. And nor should you when you're 1-5, by the way. If we were 5-1, you do it. When you're 1-5, you shouldn't. No matter how good you might be, you shouldn't do that. Jermaine Johnson, that's another interesting one too. But there's some names there in the pass rushing department. Plus, now that you're down Tavius, it can be a guy off the street that isn't a big name and he isn't going to do much. But they're gonna bring in another body because they only have 3 right now. It might even just be a guy to add to the practice squad just as depth and no one's going to care. But I'm telling you that there's going to be another outside linebacker, whether you've heard of him or not, that's going to be added to the team because they only have 3 right now. But yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Outside linebacker, defense tackle, like we were talking about. Guard, like I said, Kevin Zeitler is the guy who the Titans might be willing to part with. Have a little reunion here in Baltimore. I know his best playing days are behind him, but what we've got going on right now at guard, I think that damn near anything could be better than that. Like me and you could go out there, Alex and Josh. We all 3 of us can go out there.
140. I wouldn't bet on it.
But I mean, what are your thoughts actually on the line right now? And what do you think needs to be done?
The offensive line?
Yeah, O-line.
It's tough because if you were to bench him, you're banking on your potential replacements of guy who's been a backup here for 7 years and has never been able to earn a starting job. That doesn't sound too appealing. Undrafted rookie who has barely any regular season snaps in Corey Bullock. I'm not saying that what you got right now is good, but let's not act like we have guys sitting on the bench. You're like, oh, why aren't you playing him? If Ben Cleveland was good, he would have been a starter 5 years ago. I hate to break it to you. He's funny, but he isn't doesn't seem to be very good at football. Seems to be his biggest use seems to be the Ravens social media team. It's about it. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't see the options.
I'm personally, I'm holding out. Yeah, I think you got to do something for sure, because we see literal war crimes every single Sunday. When you talk about Daniel Falele, I watched the film from the Rams game. You know, it's just poor technique, straight up poor technique. Also, it's just to the point now where I'm looking at the O-line coach, George Warhop, and he said earlier this week in a presser, he says that, hey, look, I don't see anything wrong with how these guys are playing. I think they're getting better every week. I don't have anything bad to say, which as a coach, I get it. You're not going to throw your guys underneath the bus, but literally 24 hours prior to that, John Harbaugh was on record saying, yeah, changes across the offensive line is on the table. You know what I mean? So I just don't know. It feels like with the coaching, some of the coaches aren't on the same page to me. But something definitely needs to be done on the offensive line, especially in that interior of the offensive line. I think Tyler Linderbaum's been struggling for two reasons. He's got a very, very young and inexperienced guard at his left with Andrew Voorhees, and then he's got Daniel Falele, who's still, in what his fourth season or whatever it is, still can't get it together. You know what I mean? Also, second reason, Tyler Linderbaum, he's a little bit undersized. He's a much better run blocker than he is a pass blocker. I think in some scenarios when he's one-on-one with a big nose tackle, he just kind of gets slapped out of the way, right? I've seen it happen multiple times against Tyler Linderbaum. He struggles pretty greatly in pass protection. And again, some of that might have to do guards, but it'll be interesting to see what they decide to do with the Tyler Linderbaum after this season, because he's going to be in line to get paid. And, center is not necessarily one of those premium positions. And right now, Ravens are in dire need of a guy at a premium position. And that's why we're talking about pass rush, right? That's why you're talking about bringing in a Jermaine Johnson. That's why you're talking about maybe pursuing a Jalen Phillips or somebody like that. Because that's what this Ravens team has been missing. You haven't had anybody who's been feared, truly feared and revered off of that edge since T Sizzle. And that's a problem. It's a huge problem. Right, Alex?
Yeah, you talk about the line. If Linderbaum is a free agent, it's 20 plus mil a year. Do we have that money? I don't think we do. And
No.
I don't think we can go cheap on this line anymore, because look what we did this year with the cheap line. You have a left tackle in Stanley who you paid pretty good contract to, a left guard on a rookie contract, a center on a rookie contract, right guard rookie contract, and you have a right tackle on a rookie contract. 4 guys on a rookie contract. You can't go cheap on the line anymore. And I do agree with Kwame. I think you have to pay him. Are we going to have one of their Matt Skura, Macari situation, Bozeman situation? We start throwing guys at center.
Bro.
I don't think you can do that.
Matt Skura is not a name I needed to be reminded of today. Woo!
Sorry, had to be that guy.
Can I raise an Alejandro Villanueva?
Oh God!
Yeah, those were dark days here on the show. But okay, here's the thing, guys. We're already about 40 minutes in, over 100 people watching live right now. Shout out to you guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this episode 343 of the Purple Rain podcast. We're here with a very special guest, Judge Berman from the network. Make sure you guys go ahead and follow him on all socials. It's going to be linked down below in the description. If you're watching on X, his Twitter account is actually linked in this post that you're watching on. So make sure you guys check him out. It's time for us to get to one of our favorite segments of the episode. Josh, would you be willing to stick around with us and do some picks for week 7?
Oh, all right, let's do it. I did my kickoff show yesterday, so I got all my picks made. I got my picks and I got my scores because I did a whole show yesterday, so I got them all. I can pull them up.
Okay. Sounds good. All right, so Alex, you already know how it goes. You're gonna lead the show on this one. Toss it around to Josh to answer with his pick first, and then I'll go. And Alex, you can finish this up. All right, so let's go ahead and get into our Purple Rain picks segment.
Yes. Week 7 is here. So starting off Thursday night football, AFC North matchup, Aaron Rodgers, Joe Flacco, Steelers versus the Bengals.
Go ahead, Josh. Quick, before you go, I just wanted to say really quick. Last week, I was 9 for 15 on my picks. Alex was 7 for 15. We got to be better. We promise we'll be better. So let's get this going, guys. Josh, who do you think is going to win this game?
I'll tell you what. This year, because I've been doing I've been doing weekly picks for years now, and this season has been by a good amount the worst season I've ever had of picks. But last week I went 11-4, so maybe we're going the right direction. But
Okay.
the way that I do that, the way that me and Michael do it, is we are required to have every week one upset of the week. And in order for it to qualify for an upset of the week, the spread needs to be 3.5 points or bigger. Or else you don't get it. You can't just pick a 1 point spread and be like, here's my upset. You can't do it. But mine for this week is this game. And for the sole reason of this is a very Steelers game to lose. Thursday night football, I feel like the Steelers are never good on Thursday night. They lost to Cleveland last year on Thursday night. But Joe Flacco, with just like he's gonna have one game that he'll ball out. It would be very Joe for it to be on Thursday night football with the entire world watching against the Steelers and just him to randomly go crazy. Well, the Steelers defense has been very up and down, very turnover dependent. And when you're very turnover dependent, when you're getting those turnovers, you look like an amazing defense. When you're not, they're just going up and down the field on you. Well, any time that a football team has Jamar Chase and T. Higgins on it, I don't care who else is there. If they catch fire, they catch fire. So it's one of those things. I've had weeks where I've had a confident upset of the week and weeks where I haven't. This isn't the most confident upset of the week pick I've had all year. But I'm telling you, don't be surprised. I could see it.
Okay.
I could see it.
I like you standing on. I like how you're standing on that one. However, I'm gonna go with the Steelers in this one. I do believe that
it's responsible
right now. Yeah, I think that the running game for the Steelers is going to open up against the Bengals tonight. Bengals are not going to stop in the run. The Steelers, that's what they want to do. They want to run the football. They want to play defense and have Aaron Rodgers make a throw when he needs to, which we know he can. I think Jalen Warren, I don't want to speak too far ahead here, but I'm going to go with Jalen Warren to go over on his rushing yards tonight, and we'll get into our parlay segment after this. Give me the Steelers in this one.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Give me the Steelers. I think the defense, 2-3 turnovers maybe. Just a Joe Flacco game where he just off the back foot. I'm getting nightmares to 2016, 2017. Moving on to our London game, the LA Rams against the Jacksonville Jaguars, 9:30 a.m. kickoff. Who do we have?
It's gonna be a fun game. This is a good one.
It is. It's going to be worth waking up for, that for sure. Who you got, though, Josh?
I went with the Jags, but it was like I could go the right. This game could really go either way. But the Jags do have that familiarity if they go overseas every year. Now the Rams, it's going to be easier on them because they've spent the week at Camden Yards, so that's 3 hours less than they've had to deal with. That's why they did it. That's why. Sometimes it annoys me how much of a first-class organization we are, doesn't it? But this could really go either way. But
it could.
Without Puka, I could see Jacksonville having a nice day. T-Law has a lot of familiarity over there. Travis Hunter, you know what he's going to do. Travis Etienne, he's kind of calmed down a little bit, but he's really shown a lot this year. Their defense has been very, very solid all year, really solid. Devin Lloyd, low-key, might be first-team All-Pro right now. Their defense has been good, so I think the Jags could take it and surprise some people. But the Rams also, this is a toss-up.
It's a toss-up, and I like that pick, but like what you said with the Steelers, it does feel like the Jaguars are a little bit too much turnover dependent as well. For that reason, I think, across the pond, in this one, higher offense than the Rams, who they're going to want to bounce back after putting up somewhat of a stinker last week in Baltimore, only put up 17 points when you came into that game as the best offense in the league. I think you said no Puka in this one, right? That's confirmed he's not playing?
I don't know if it's necessarily been confirmed, but I know that they're not expecting him to play. I don't know if he's officially out, but he's not expected to play.
Hasn't practiced 2 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hasn't practiced in 2 days. Okay. I'm still gonna go Rams in this one. What's the spread on this one? You guys know really quick?
I would assume it's tight.
Yeah. Because I kind of like last week when I did Cowboys and Panthers, Alex. I said I would take the Yeah. Damn. They got this.
Actually,
oh my God.
I actually thought it'd be closer than that.
2.5. Okay,
Rams favorite.
got you. Yeah, I'll take the Rams in this one. I'll take the Rams outright for sure. What about you,
See,
Alex?
there's a bigger storyline behind this as well. The owners,
Okay.
Stan Kroenke and Shaq Khan, their teams in soccer play together Saturday.
Ooh.
Their football team Sunday. And I support Stan Kroenke's team, Arsenal, and they play Fulham. So Arsenal will win and the Rams will win. Stan Kroenke will win the battle of the billionaires. Moving on now to a good game in the 1 p.m. window. Eagles and the Vikings. Carson Wentz against the old team.
It's going to be an interesting one. First of all, number one on, I don't know about you guys, but number one on my head coaching guys I would love to see in Baltimore, Brian Flores. Number one. He is number one on that list.
That.
But
that toughness.
Yeah. He very much seems like a Raven. The way that we look for those in our players, I in my head, we look for that in our coaches too. He's a Raven in my head. But I think Philly should get this one. They should get back on track. I don't like this question because it's a very clickbaity sports talk show type of question about a flawed team. But should you be worried about the Eagles because they really haven't looked good the last 2 weeks, like at all? So if they drop this one to Minnesota, who, by the way, are not bad at all, but if Philly drops 3 in a row, things could get interesting over there.
That's interesting. For me, I think I'm of the belief that Philly is one of those teams who's going to turn it around, and they're probably going to finish strong on the season. I'm going to take the Eagles to win this game. I don't think that J.J. McCarthy is going to play in this one. At least I don't believe. So it's going to be more Carson Wentz, I believe. Yeah, I'll take the Eagles in this one for sure.
It's a must-win game for Philly. I know we're early in the season, but you can't go on a 3-game losing streak with their talent. I mean, we're Ravens fans talking about it, but for the Eagles, that can't happen. So I think they'll win this game. Moving on now to the Patriots and the Titans in Nashville, Tennessee. Patriots, one of the more fun teams to watch, and the Titans right now. New head coach, Callahan out. What are we thinking?
Mike Vrabel's going to his old team in Tennessee. If Brian Callahan still had a job, I think they would have probably hung like 40 plus on him. The interim head coach bump is real. So maybe the Titans could have a fight, but they're not winning. New England's taking this.
Yeah. I mean, I'm the Patriots all the way on this one. And watch this be the game, right? Watch this be the upset like nobody saw coming. It was the Eagles and Giants last week. The Giants and the Chargers a couple weeks before that. This one of the, I mean, I don't know. Cam Ward says their ass. I believe their ass. Yeah. But yeah, give me the Pats in this one.
Legendary quote. Yeah, I had the Pats as well for the same reasons you guys do. Next up, though, the Panthers and the Jets in New York. Panthers off of a big win against the Cowboys, and then the Jets, man. 0-6. Do they finally get their first win?
Ready for this? Yes. I think that, first of all, I think the Jets are due for a win. I think that is the first thing. But Carolina is weird to me. I'm just not ready to fully buy in on them. This is one of those games where it's like, okay. It's weird to say this about it when you're playing an 0-6 football team, but this is one of those games where like, hey, the good teams win these games. No matter what. Take care of business. And I see the trap game. I really see the trap game here. So I think the Jets might take it.
I think, well, I want the Panthers to win. I think that the Panthers are going to win, but I want the Panthers to win. I want the Jets to go win so they can go to a full fire sale, like you mentioned, Jermaine Johnson, like we talked about on some of the other shows, Quinnen Williams, maybe some of those guys are for sale, if the Jets lose their one. And the Panthers, they have,
dog, man.
Yeah, but the Panthers, I think that they have a little bit of an identity crisis this season. They don't know how good they want to be or how bad they want to be necessarily. But I do think that they take care of business against the Jets, man. England, it's not looking good. It's looking bleak. Yeah, give me the Panthers.
I hear Josh's point because the last time I was big on the Panthers, they blanked the Falcons 30
Yep.
to nothing, and
Yeah.
I was big on them next week against the Patriots, and they put up a
They
stinker
got
42 to 13.
Exactly.
Big winner of the Cowboys. Let's be real, the Cowboys are a good team. I think Dak's playing at a high level. They probably should have won last week, but Rico Dowdle turned into second coming of LaDainian Tomlinson.
Yeah. Even crazy.
I'm going with the Jets. I think they're going to win this game. It's going to be a
Oh
letdown
my
for
gosh.
a young Panthers team. They have to rely, I think, on Dowdle. I don't think they will. I think they'll force something. They'll probably go down 10-0. They'll start panicking. Give me the Jets in this one for the upset. I'm feeling it.
Ted McMillan, 2 touchdowns. Book it.
I might have to sprinkle that one, not gonna lie. Moving on to the Dolphins and the Browns. This one I might not watch unless it's on Red Zone. Who do you guys have?
I mean, Miami's the better football team. They should get it done.
Yeah.
Their quarterback mentioned that guys aren't showing up to meetings and then had to come out and apologize for saying that. Tells you all about the culture in Miami of, hey, guys are missing meetings. And the response is, hey, don't say that. Not, hey, he's right. It's don't snitch. That's your reaction to players not showing up to meetings? Is don't be a snitch? Hey, that's a problem, man. But the good news for them is they're playing the Browns. So they might take care of it. Dylan Gabriel's been all right. I mean,
Had a little bit of an ugly one last week.
yeah.
Dylan Gabriel did.
Nice.
I think it might be Shador time soon. I'm just saying.
Why?
Sooner than we think. I don't know,
But
man.
why?
I just think that here's why. Dylan Gabriel, I don't believe he's on as long of a leash that Kevin Stefanski is letting on. I really don't. I think that if you go another 2 games of like stinkers, I mean, it's already heated up in that fan base. You know, they want Shador to start. I believe selecting him was the owner's choice, right? Drafting him was the owner's choice. They said, hey, look, we want this guy. So if things aren't looking good, they start losing some more games. I could see it, man. Again, I say 2 to 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. But in this one, I am going to go with the Browns, only because the Browns do have one of the best defenses in the league. Myles Garrett is an absolute alien. I don't see how they block him in this one. Give me the Browns.
I'm gonna go the Dolphins here. They were a defensive just mishap away from beating a good, bless you, Chargers team last week. And you bring up the Dolphins and, you know, the whole player stuff. It makes you wonder about the whole Brian Flores situation there. You know, if players aren't showing up to the meeting, what happened with him? You know, his shock exit. Would love to hear more about that when the day comes. Moving on now to the Saints and the Bears in Chicago. What are we thinking?
I think Chicago takes this one, but yeah, the Saints low key hang on. They're 1-5. They're not good, but they fight. They're a team that hangs in there. Spencer Rattler hasn't been good, but he's been fine. He's kept them in games. I think it'll be another thing there where like the Saints will admirably lose by 6 points. Something like that. They're just not good. But they'll play hard. They'll do what they'll do their thing, but they won't win.
Actually really like that. I mean, I think that, yeah, like you said, but like they're not going to, they just don't know how to win games. You know what I mean? Like they're just not that team. The Bears right now, I think with Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams, they're kind of starting to figure some things. They're on like a 3-win streak right now. I want to say 3 or 4 game win streak. They've put it together a little bit in Chicago, and I think that they have a lot to look forward to with DJ Moore and Adunze. And Swift looks like he's turning back the clocks a little bit. Give me the Bears in this one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Not going to mince words. Bears in this one. Moving on now to the Raiders and the Chiefs. Rashee Rice making that comeback. Posting a highlight video of him coming back. I don't know how I feel about that, considering what you weren't playing for, but that's a whole different topic from the episode. But Raiders Chiefs here in Kansas City, Arrowhead.
People are going to remember how good he is, and it's annoying because of everything, but he's a baller. And the Chiefs, without him, were starting to figure it out. Now they're getting the number one receiver back. I want to have fun. I want to be like Kansas City, I think, is not only going to, I think they're going to roll them. I really do. I think this is going to just, the Raiders got Ashton Genty, and that's about it. And Max Crosby.
Yeah.
Of course.
I was going to say, I feel like those two things there, I mean, Chiefs not having best run defense, Max Crosby is going to be able to win on some third downs, I think. I think that the Chiefs do win this game, but I think it's going to be, if I had to take whatever the spread is, I'd probably take the Raiders plus whatever they are, to be honest. This one will be a little closer than we think. But give me the Chiefs in a close one. Damn, I almost want to pick the Raiders. That might have been upset of the week, but give me the Chiefs in a close one.
11.5 is a spread.
All right, they could cover.
Yeah, I would totally take the Raiders to cover 11.5. Totally. I might actually sprinkle that this week. Oh no, I can't. I'm in Texas. I can't. Yeah. I forgot.
I'm going with the Chiefs. Really not going to explain that one. Moving on to the 4 o'clock window, the Colts and the Chargers. 5-1 Colts, 4-2 Chargers.
What year is this? What is this?
06, 07.
Bro. Colts, Chargers, man. I mean, take me back to Phillip Rivers and Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
But, wait, who do you got in this one, Josh? I don't think you went yet.
It is, if in September, I told you that on October 16th, I would be on a podcast saying that the Indianapolis Colts have a legitimate argument to have been the most consistent team in the NFL through 6 weeks, I would have laughed so hard. But no, if you are looking at weeks 1 through 6, full sample size, apps, just everything, if you want to tell me that the most consistent team across the board has been Indy, I won't call you crazy. The Chargers looked like Super Bowl contenders for the first 3 weeks and then have completely fallen off a cliff. Even in a win last week, didn't look that great against Miami. So, the Chargers could win it, but I struggle to pick against Indy right now, how good they look. And they look great.
Yeah, they do. The Chargers are one of those teams that the Ravens also need to start losing some games if the path to the playoffs ends up being a wild card seed. But in this one, and the biggest thing about the Chargers right now is that they're missing their 2 bookend tackles. Of course, they didn't start the season with Rashawn Slater. Joe Alt's still in time. They're missing Amari Hampton, their young star running back. So I think that they're going to a little bit of a rough patch. Like you said, had a win last week against the Dolphins, but didn't really look too impressive. I think I'm going to have to fade the Chargers on this one. I'll take the Colts. I mean, Jonathan Taylor's been damn near an MVP candidate. So give me JT and the Colts.
Sorry, Madison Beer.
I see why my record's so bad, because I just use stupid reasons to make up why teams are win. And I say the Chargers because if I'm Justin Herbert, I just saw Madison Beer down the Victoria's Secret runway, and I want to play good. So I'm picking the Chargers just for that reason. Just for that reason.
For Danny Dimes.
Herbo has it. I can't get mad at that.
I'm so happy.
Wait, Josh, what did you just say?
He's been good ever since he entered the league, and I'm glad he's finally people are like, oh yeah, he's good at football. We've been trying to tell you for years.
Wait, did you say that she would leave Herbert for Danny Dimes if the Colts win?
Yeah.
Nah.
Can you imagine? That would be hilarious.
He's got a whole movie named after him.
Was last week.
Indiana Jones.
Fairs.
Oh.
Come on.
Oh my gosh.
Is that Bears? Oh, God.
I mean,
I can see it though.
They have the same personality. They don't really talk that much, so I see it. Maybe she likes those kind of guys, a nonchalant guy. I don't know. Who knows? Moving on now to one guy who is not nonchalant, Mr. Jackson Dart and the Giants against the Denver Broncos in Denver. Who do we have here?
My head or my heart? My heart says the Giants. My head says the Broncos. I went with my head. I think Denver's going to win. Their defense is very, very good. The Giants, offensively, I think it's more lightning in a bottle with the unit, not with Scottaboo. I think he's legit. I will never understand how that man felt at day 3 in the draft. The whole draft season, whenever I was the running back rankings, I understand it was a stacked running back class. Whenever they did like the running back rankings, I saw him like 8th. I was, why? Did you watch him last year? Like, what he's doing in New York doesn't surprise me the slightest. But I think Denver just gets it done. The Giants are a team that just isn't ready. They're just young. They're not ready. But I think they'll put up a fight.
I'm gonna go with the Giants in this one. This one's gonna be my upset pick of the week. I think the one thing we're really kind of underestimating here is that Giants pass rush, man. I really liked what I saw from that front seven. You know, Brian Burns, of course, Abdul Carter's over there. Kayvon Thibodeau is looking good this year. Finally, Dexter Lawrence is in the middle, eating up runs and things like that. And then you just got all this juice and magic on the offensive side of the football. Not to mention, Bo Nix hasn't been playing that well. I mean,
not at all.
A little bit of a sophomore regression. You know what I mean? A slump. So I'm gonna go with the Giants in this one. That's gonna be my upset pick of the week. Give me the Giants.
He's low-key been pretty bad this year.
Yeah.
Give me the Broncos. Got to win this. AFC West is close. They're the better team overall. Moving on out to the Packers and the Cardinals. Could be Jacoby Brissett. Could be Kyler Murray. Doesn't matter. What do you say?
There is not a team in the NFL other than the Ravens that has disappointed me more than the Arizona Cardinals. I really had high hopes for them. I had them in the playoffs. There's not a play like Kyler Murray, man. I can't think of a player that is good, but whenever you watch him, it's like, damn, you should be so much better than you are. And yet he's still good. But like, he shouldn't be good. He should be really good, and he's just not. But he is banged up now. Yeah, I think Green Bay is going to be kind of a get-right game. They're 3-1-1, but they've kind of tapered off a little bit. I want to see them figure it
out. Wait, who do we got in this one? Just blinded me from the side, which is crazy. Packers, Cardinals. Oh yeah, give me the Packers in this one. Give me the Packers. Easy.
Same here. That game against the Bengals shouldn't have been that close. Let's not taunt Jamar Chase next time. Carrington Valentine. That's really not a smart idea. Take it from Ravens fans. Moving on now to a nice NFC East matchup. Commanders, Cowboys. Sedarian Lamb is back. Him and Pickens, they're back together. Commanders off that L. Cowboys off that L. 3-3, 2-3-1. Who do you got?
I think that this is, obviously they play twice, but I think in January, when you look at the playoff teams, and you go, whew, there's a 1-game difference here between the Commanders and Cowboys. Man, that game in October, little bit like this game screams that. Where in January, we're gonna look back on it and go, oh, that was a big win for the Commanders or the big win for the Cowboys. I think the Commanders get it. But this is a big, big, big football game because these two teams are right there. They're both very even. And hey, if Philly loses 3 in a row, maybe something interesting could happen in that division that hasn't had a repeat champion in my entire lifetime.
For me in this one, I am going to go with the Commanders. I think that the Commanders are the more well-rounded team right now as opposed to the Cowboys. The Cowboys, man, their defense is giving up around 400 yards a game. That's just not going to cut it. I think that this is going to be a big game for Bill Merritt, Bill Crosby.
Yeah.
He's been really good this year. Did have I believe he had a fumble last week, and Jaden Daniels also had a fumble as well. I think they bounced back from those mistakes that they had against the Bears, and yeah, give Commanders in this one.
Yeah, Commanders as well. I think Jaden Daniels, another game healthy, ball out. They will win this. Next up, our Sunday night football game. Falcons and Niners. Penix against Purdy or Penix against Mac Jones? We got?
Okay. I had this thought and watching the Bills-Falcons game. And I just sat there and it was the back of my head. And then I opened up TikTok the next day and one of my good friends and great creator, Nico, Elite Takes, like that man read my mind. I open up TikTok the next day, and the first video that pops up is a video from Nico. It's calling Bijan Robinson the best running back in the NFL. And it was that I had that thought just sitting there, and it was funny. Just the next day, I had that because, man, he's so good. But so is Drake London. Here's the problem. It is not sustainable to have those two get 75% of your team's yards as they did against Buffalo. So, Kyle Pitts, who quietly has actually had a pretty solid year this year. Like, no one cares because it's so many years into his career and everyone follows that. But
Yeah.
quietly been pretty good for them. I think if he steps up, if maybe a Tyler Algier, who one of my takes is, I'm telling you right now that the second Tyler Algier's rookie contract is up, he's going to go somewhere on a really cheap deal and be really good. The only problem is that he's Bijan's backup, but like Algier's a good player. He's consistently been a good player. So if he steps up, if Michael Penix can figure it out, because low-key, I have not been impressed by him at all throughout his career so far.
No.
The problem is the 49ers have no one left. Look at that defense right now. And they're now down Fred Warner and Nick Bosa for the rest of the year as well. That's a problem. It hasn't seemed to matter for them, but I think it's going to catch up with them at some point. I think Atlanta takes care of it, but they need more guys to step up. The pass rush needs to continue to take that step up. They haven't had a good pass rusher in 15 years. They spent 2 first-round picks on 2 pass rushers, and it's starting to add some results for them. So maybe Atlanta can figure it out.
That's exactly what I was going to say. The pass rush does seem like it's starting to pick up for the Falcons. We did see it on prime time. I'll go with the Falcons in this one as well. Like you said, 49ers just decimated right now. Got off to a pretty good start, and I like Mac Jones bring to the team. And also, I think we got to give a shout out to Shanahan again. He's like the fix your career guy. You know what I mean? Like, you can send an iron quarterback over there and he can. And this is kind of, again, I don't want to talk about the Ravens, but this is my indictment on Harbaugh. When you lose starting quarterback, how far does your floor go? With the 49ers, it doesn't go through the bottom of the earth to the pits of hell quite like it does with the Baltimore Ravens when they lose Lamar Jackson. So I got to give a shout out to Shanahan for that. But I do think that the Falcons get it done this one. I agree with you, Josh. Give me the Falcons.
Yeah. Give me the Falcons in this one. Niners right now, you're going to look at them and stare. That's back-to-back losses. You know, can they turn it around? Who knows? But yeah, Falcons this one. Moving on to a couple of things I really hate. Doubleheader Monday Night Football games.
This is the last one.
I hate olives. I hate a team in North London that wears white. I hate country rang football clubs, and I hate doubleheader Monday Night Football games.
Steelers.
Not a fan. I do hate the Steelers. Yeah, that one too. Here we go. Buccaneers Lions, 7 p.m. Who do you have?
Well, I'll tell you what. If we're gonna do a Monday night doubleheader, this is how you do it, because we have not one but 2 really interesting games. So if you're gonna do it, at least give us this, which is 2 straight really interesting games, and this one. I mean, you're looking at a potential NFC Championship preview. You got the MVP front runner right now in Baker Mayfield, and what he's done. Now, Bucky Irving is not playing for them. Chris Godwin's not playing for them. Emeka Ibuka's not playing for them, and Mike Evans probably isn't going to play for them. So you're down your top 3 receivers and your best running back against a Detroit team. Hey, how bad you want that MVP now, Baker? Because if you go in and beat Detroit, we can have some real conversations now. But I think it's the Bucs are too banged up offensively to get it. But man, I think a healthy versus healthy matchup between these two in January, which I think we will see, is going to be very, very interesting. But I think Detroit gets this one, and potentially because of that game I was talking about could be in Detroit.
Yeah, the NFC Championship game. I think that this totally could be an NFC Championship preview. There's only a couple other teams that I could see maybe. I think that the Packers will fall off at some point. That's just me. But this Bucs team does seem like they have something and they're putting it together. So if they can get back healthy, I can totally see them making it all the way. And then you got the Lions, right, who are hungry in multiple ways. I mean, hungry in the sense that they just lost to the Chiefs, but that's like a microcosm in comparison to, you know, what their broader goals are. You guys remember the divisional round last year in the NFC? They got mollywopped by the Washington Commanders. So I know that they're still
At
on a
home.
mission to get that one back at home.
They got
Exactly.
2019
So,
Ravens is what they did.
pretty much.
In
Yeah,
every
stunned.
single way. I remember
Stunned.
said after that game, if you look at the 2019 Ravens and the 2024 Lions, it is the exact same thing. Exact same thing.
Yeah. Alex over there laughing at me. I'll go Detroit in this one. Give me
After the
Detroit.
pain. I know. After the pain.
Out of every way you could have described it, you said mollywopped. Fair. Oh my gosh.
It just came to me. My bad, bro.
No, you're good. You're good. I'm picking the Buccaneers in this one with my MVP Baker Mayfield going to stamp his case. I'm tired of this Josh Allen propaganda. They aren't posting his game-sealing interception against the Falcons. That is absolute bullshit. Mahomes, no. My MVP Baker Mayfield will he'll be the front runner for this game. Give me the Buccaneers. Moving on to the final game of this week, 10 o'clock. I will tell you this, my ass will be knocked out by this when this game starts. Texans Seahawks in Seattle.
Well, in Seattle, it'll be 7.
Yeah.
So you got that. But this isn't interesting because through 4 games, Houston looked awful. Not just bad, like top 5 pick bad. But the last time they played, as Ravens fans, we focus on how bad we looked. But if you're a Texans fan, or just like a neutral NFL fan, there is also the conversation of, hey, CJ Stroud is, granted off the bye, but coming off the best game he's had since a rookie. The offense was clicking. The defense completely shut them down. So as Ravens fans, we think about that game from our standpoint, but you cannot have a better way to go into a bye than what Houston had when you were 1-3. So you're not coming off the bye with that in the back of your mind against Seattle, like that, who is another really interesting NFC West team. Mike McDonald, we know the job he's done over there. I'm very, very interested in this game. But I think, weirdly, under Mike McDonald, they've been a lot better on the road than they have been at home. This one's at home. And I kind of feel like that pattern might keep going, and they drop this one at home. I don't know. It could go either way, though. JSN's a baller.
Yeah, that's where I was gonna get. That's what I was getting at. Sam Darnold's been flat out, you can say, the best quarterback in the league thus far. You know, he's been really, really good. Very, very efficient. Then, you know, the connection between him and JSN, it looks like it's taken off into another dimension. I'm going to go with the Seahawks in this one. I love everything about Mike McDonald is running that team. I don't know if you guys saw the post game after their game last week, where he was in the locker room kind of hyping the guys up and things like that. That's what you want in a head coach. I miss that guy.
You know what it reminded me of?
A head coach. Yeah, what?
It reminded me of when we were winning. If you go back and listen to a Harbaugh post-game locker room speech after a win, and you then immediately listen to that, it's like, yo, that's the same guy. It is. The only difference is, and this is the thing with Harbaugh and why I believe it's time, is because on McDonald's case, it's a new message. Harbaugh, it's a worn out one. It's the same message, it's a new messenger. And it's being received very well in Seattle, and in Baltimore it feels stale. But I'm telling you, go and listen to a Harbaugh post-game a post-game speech in the locker room after one of our wins last year, and then immediately go and pull up his speech from last week. It's the same thing. It's just a different messenger, and it's being received totally differently. It's amazing how that happens.
It is. It really is. Like communication, human nature, just how it is, how things go in the workplace just in general. That makes a lot of sense, Josh. I would just hope that Ravens owner Steve Bisciotti is of the same mindset, and I don't think he is. So, hey, I think we got what we got when it comes to Harbaugh for the next 3 years, fellas. It is what it is, right?
If they miss the playoffs,
yeah.
I don't see a world where he comes back.
I don't know.
If they miss the playoffs, he's gone.
They're just going to chalk it up to injuries. They're going to say, oh, we lost Lamar for a little bit of the season. Matabike went down. All these other guys went down early in the season. We started off really slow. I think Lamar Jackson will probably will us back to appreciate the super chat and Matt Roston making it rain here. Get to that in just 1 second, but I think Lamar Jackson will kind of will the team to having a good enough record to justify not firing Harbaugh in the eyes of Steve Bisciotti. Really quick, we do a super chat donation. This one's from Mad Rasta. Appreciate you, man. Says Bucks have 9 starters out and still winning, but we collapsed on bad coaching. Fire Harbs and all the coaches. Dang, all the coaches. That's a little steep
goes,
right there.
If Harbaugh goes,
The entire staff.
It is. Yeah, like the new guy, whoever it would be, is gonna bring in a totally new staff.
Especially considering that the staff they have now is either, for the most part, very inexperienced, or just doesn't have the best track record. You know what I mean? In their previous endeavors. So I totally see that. Appreciate the super donation, Rosa, as always, man. Did we finish it, Alex?
I'm taking the Seahawks, taking Mike Mack and them boys. JSN, best receiver right now. I mean, I'm sorry, top 3 receiver. I'm not gonna say best. He's been balling out though. But that's your Week 7 NFL picks, courtesy of us 3 here.
Yes. So now for our very last segment of this show, again, we want to thank Josh Berman from the Next Network for coming on and chopping it up with it on this one. One more segment. This is probably, I said our last segment was our favorite. I think this is probably my favorite segment. This is going to be our Purple Rain Parlay segment. Alex, let's get into it.
Yeah, the Purple Rain Parlay. NFL has not been nice to me this year, which is fine. It's okay. We got the game tonight. No Ravens game this week. So what props are we thinking? I like Jalen Warren a lot tonight, whether it be 50+ rushing, receiving yards, or even a touchdown. I like his.
Is Kenneth Gainwell the RB1 though?
I'm starting him in my big money fantasy league because I have to.
Like those two together, like Kenneth Gainwell is getting pretty close to the same number of touches as Jalen Warren has this year. And then meanwhile, their 3rd round pick has gotten, I think, 14. And Caleb Johnson. Just weird.
Caleb Johnson. I think that they're kind of over Caleb Johnson, to be honest with you. But Kenneth Gainwell, he's a guy who, I mean, you mentioned Jalen Warren on the rushing yards, 50+, right, Alex? I would take that. But then if you want to take Gainwell, I would take his reception over as well. I think he's had 6 receptions in the last 2 games. I'm not sure what his line is saying in that right now, but I'd probably take the over on that. What's that looking like, Alex?
For Gainwell receiving?
Receptions.
2.5.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely taking the over on Kenneth Gainwell receptions, man. I think last 2 games, 6 seems to be a pretty big part of this Steelers offense. Again, Gainwell, he's on the field. You know what I mean? It's like you mentioned, it's not all Jalen Warren. So I do think that Warren will probably get his on the ground. They'll control the game like that. So you said the line is at 50, right? For his rushing yards, Jalen Warren. Okay, yeah, I'll take the over on that. I'm good with that. And then, well, Josh, what do you think? Do you think that Jalen Warren can hit that over today?
Definitely can. I don't know. It's interesting because the Steelers, I mean, Jalen Warren's not a guy who gets a crazy amount of snaps, but what is he said, 50 rushing yards?
Yeah.
I think he can hit that.
Okay. Yeah. So do we. So we're definitely gonna go with that one. That's one leg. What else you got for me, Alex?
I mean, I'll tell you this: Jonnu Smith, 20+. I'm not hating that. -245. Security blanket.
Oof.
What has Jonnu Smith been doing though? Haven't really.
I know we had 3 catches last week. I can tell you that right now.
3 catches last week, 2 the week before that, 3 the week before that, 4 and 5. Okay. And you said 20+ receiving yards. Alternate. Let's see. It's tough for me. Whatever happened to Pat Fryermuth? Can somebody answer me that?
48 mil.
Arthur Smith happened. They love Jonnu. He has always loved Jonnu.
In that case, I mean, hey, I don't mind sprinkling a 20+ receiving yard on Jonnu Smith. I mean, you just brought up a point, Josh. Alex, you like the bet? I'll take that. Jonnu Smith over. I'll be watching it like a hawk tonight, very closely.
I'll tail this. What is it?
So Kenneth
So,
Gainwell
yeah.
over total receptions, 2.5.
Okay.
Jalen Warren, 50 rushing yards.
Okay.
Yep.
Jonnu Smith, 20 plus yards receiving.
You said 20 plus
Yeah,
yard
that's all.
reception?
Receiving
Oh,
for
receiving.
Jonnu.
Yards.
Yeah.
Yeah, like alternate. Yeah.
I
There it
I
is.
like
Plus
that.
356.
like that.
356.
I'm
Okay.
not mad at it.
Okay.
I'm not mad.
Real quick. I mean, do you think that when it comes to receiving yards, because I think Jamar Chase's line is set at 70, I want to say. Actually 75 and a half, what I'm looking
Yep.
at here on yeah.
Yep.
Over under 75 and a half receiving yards. What do you guys think? Just to wrap us up here for Jamar Chase.
I picked Cincy, so yeah, he's gonna have to.
Well, yeah, you're right about that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
heard you pick Bengals to win this game and watch them win it.
He can have 15 yards in the fourth quarter. He just needs one drive with 3 catches. He'll hit that. Just how good he is.
Yeah.
And just how reliant.
And
his
Flacco,
offense is.
he's gonna throw it. He's gonna throw it up to him
Yep.
a couple
Yeah.
of times.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I had to bet on one more thing, I'd do Flacco over a half an interception. I don't know who has that available, but I definitely think he's throwing a pick tonight. So there's that too. But I like the 3-legger that we made. Let's go ahead and stick with that for that one. And with that being said, that's gonna end our Purple Rain parlay segment. Hopefully, we can actually get a win this week, man. It's been a tough season so far to this point, but I think we got a good opportunity on Thursday Night Football. All I ask for you guys when you watch Thursday Night Football tonight, if you have Amazon Prime, watch the Prime version of it. Watch the Prime Vision view. That is absolutely amazing. It's one of the best things to ever happen in football.
Yup.
Nice. I love it.
Been on it
So
for
make sure you
years.
guys check that out. Oh yeah, I just got hip to it like a couple of weeks ago, and I'm like in love with it. I wish every game had that. So yeah, make sure you guys check that out. Again, we want to give a big shout to our guy Josh Berman for coming through on this episode. First time guest here at PRP. Hopefully we can have you back, brother. Hopefully you had a good time with us here. We had a good time with you. So yeah, if you want to come back, I'll be hitting you up. I'll be in the DMs. So definitely on the lookout.
I won't.
All good. Sounds good, brother. Sounds good. But yeah, listen, you guys already know the drill. Before we get out of here, as my light keeps blinding me, I don't know why it keeps doing that. Make sure you like the video. Also subscribe to the channel as well if you want to get more Baltimore Ravens content just like this. And with that being said, I'll let my guy Alex take us out.
Thank you for coming through. This episode 343 of the Purple Rain podcast. We love you. We appreciate you. And as always, stay positive. Test negative.
Yes. And never, ever forget, even on the rainiest of days, to call God. In episode 343 PRP, we're going to catch you guys in the next one. Peace.